Hi guys, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. And we got dumped on, well, I don't know if we got dumped. I think we were supposed to get 3 to 6 inches yesterday, and by the looks of the driveway, we got close to that. And you'll have to forgive me when you hear the snowplows going around. They're going around. It's about 6:20 here in Chicago, and the snowplows are just finally hitting our street. We're off the beaten path. We have no outlet, so we're usually one of the last streets to get plowed. So anyway, I wanted to show you a quick card using this beautiful stamp set. It's a bundle that's coming out in 2 days. So it's called Artfully Layered. The paper is called Artfully Composed, and the matching dies are called Tropical Layers, I believe. Yes, Tropical Layers. Okay, so we're using a little of each of these components to make what I call this flip-flap card. Okay, now some people don't like the way it looks on the inside. If you always want to keep it so it's let me grab this piece of paper so that it's not so choppy, you can always cut another layer like this, but that's going to make your card even thicker, so that way it doesn't look all weird on the inside. But I don't mind it looking weird on the inside, because you can always take another piece of cardstock. Let me see if I don't even have, I have so many pieces laying around. You could cut it, you know, to be this inside flap where you can write if you want to. Not a big deal. And these aren't the card colors I would probably usually use, just because I was testing this out this morning. This is what I used for now. But let's go ahead and we're going to grab cardstock from the colors that, I'm sorry, there's a glare. Let's see. So it says there's a Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Just Jade, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, Pear Pizzazz. So I think I'm going to grab this. I'm going to make this layer Bumblebee, and then I'll do the sides in Old Olive, and maybe some, yeah, let's just try that. Let's try Bumblebee and Old Olive. So let me go over here to my shelf over here and grab Bumblebee. Now, Bumblebee is an in color that's going to be retiring at the end of this calendar season, or this catalog season. Do you remember Bumblebee? Love Bumblebee. Used my first package. This is my second package. I always get 2 packages of the in colors when they come out, just because I'm not sure if I'm going to like them or not. So obviously you can see I didn't use Bumblebee a lot. It's a great color. I'm a little biased. I like More Mustard from back in the day. And to me, I think this is a sister version of More Mustard. So maybe that's why I didn't use it as much as I should have. But what are you going to do? And then let's grab our Old Olive. Beautiful, beautiful color. And then we'll use, let's see. So I'm going to use, this is the base. I'm going to use this as the flaps. We'll figure out which color. Maybe I'll stick with this Just Jade, which is also a retiring in color, coming up in end of April, I think it is now, because our catalogs are starting over. So anyway, so this is going to be a little bit on the fly, but with this main card in mind. So for your Bumblebee, you're going to cut the normal cardstock quarter base. It's not a folded card, so we're just going to do that 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's your standard, you know, in the end dimensions. So that's going to be there. On Old Olive, we're going to cut this at 5 1/2 first this way, and then we're going to cut 2 strips of 3. All right, these are going to be what I call your flip flaps. So then we're also going to we're going to score, we're going to line this up to 2 1/4, because that's going to be just a little bit matching up to the middle. So 2 1/4, 2 1/4. 2 1/8 would make it match like this. We're going to have a little bit of an overlap. All right. So let me put this over here by now. Let me go ahead and fold these. There's that bump. I like folding on the bump side. And then see, these are going to be what tucks behind here for your front. Now see, there's going to be just a little bit of overlay. If you don't want it to overlay any at all, then you would go ahead and make that 2 1/8. So you would lay up to 2 1/8 and score. Okay, then what I did for the top part is I'm taking the rectangle postage stamp punch, and I don't know if you can see how they have these little marks on the inside here, kind of centering marks. Let me bring it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the outside edge of both of those and punch, and do the same here. Go to the outside. And what I mean by the outside edge is this marking. I'm going to the outside of that. Okay, so let's go back in here. Go to the outside and the outside. Hopefully my belly's not getting in the way of the camera. And then we're going to the outside and outside. Now it's not going to be exact. And anyone who knows anything about me knows that I am never exact. Okay, so let's go ahead. And then when we tape this down, you see how that's going to meet up at the middle. All right. So let's go ahead. Let me get out. I don't think I have my Stampin' Seal out. So let's go ahead and get that out. Oh. Sorry. I'm going to remove the whole table now too. Don't want to get my brand new cover sheet all sticky on the first day. So there we go. And go ahead and fold, lay that together, and there you go. There's your flip flap. All right. All right. These little pieces. Yes, I'm going to throw these away. I know you guys can't believe that. I'm going to throw that away. All right. So now for this middle part, if you can see, and I don't know if it goes down here, but this inseam now is about 4 inches. So what I'm going to do with my paper, we know this is 4 1/4 across, and I want it to go almost all the way to the edge. And then, I don't know if you could see that when I was doing this, because my paper, I'm not sure how much you can see with my new camera setup. See how that's 4 that way? So I want to make it a little smaller than 4. So we're going to make it a little bit smaller than 4, and a little bit smaller than 4 1/4. So this is going to be a little bit smaller than 4. So I'm just going to go 2 notches smaller than 4. Oh, wow, that's 2/16 smaller than that. And then this was 4 1/4. So then I'm going to go with that 2/16 smaller. So it's going to be at 4 1/8. All right. So then this is your flap part. See how that lines up kind of nicely? All right, so now I believe I'm going to bring in some pear pizzazz, because I don't want to be too matchy, but I want it to be, see how I did it there? So that one I actually layered on because I put the tape down wrong. So I'm not going to put a layer underneath this. I'm going to put a layer on top and then my very vanilla. All right, so let's go ahead and put this down. Now you only want to put tape on half of it. So just put your adhesive on the very far left side. Hover, make sure it's where you like it, and then press down. So there's that. Okay, let me go over here and grab These are my scraps for my in colors. So let's do this because I don't want it to be cover up all that designer paper. So then let's make this, since this was a little more less than 4 1/4. There. Sorry, I still have tape underneath there. Now I'm moving everything. All right. So let's go. We're going to go a 1/2 inch smaller than that. That's 4 1/4 across, so we're going to go a 1/2 inch, which is 3 3/4 that way. And let's see how that looks. Perfect. I like that. And then let me grab one of my, this is just scraps I had over here on the side. And so then I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller than that. So what I like to do is I'll make a little, oops, everything's falling down. You should see how bad it is over here. So what I've done is I've lined this up. I'm making a little mark there. And all I'm going to do is take that little mark to my 1/2 inch line and then cut. So that should make a pretty good mat. Let's see. Yep, pretty good all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to get Old Olive. It's going to be one of my leaves. And the other, I don't want it to be too matchy-matchy. Do I do just jade or do I do evening evergreen? No. I'm going to grab a scrap over here of my Pear Pizzazz. Because remember, Pear Pizzazz was another one of the colors that was in the paper. So let's go ahead from those scraps. And that's what I'm going to cut out. So let me bring this over here. Let me put my layer over there or else I'll lose it. All right. So we have your platform 1 and 2. And we have 2 of your 3s. We're going to lay down my 2 pieces there. Artfully layered, I'm going to use this and this for the dies. You'll probably hear a pretty big crash pretty soon because I have things piled over to the side here and I'm pretty sure they're going to crash any second now. So let me go ahead. I like having them spaced apart and kind of off center. I don't want everything right in the middle. So let me go ahead and go like this. I don't know how much this is going to move the camera. Maybe not so bad. Alright, I went slow just in case. Okay, so let's pull that up. They all just kind of fall right from underneath there. Let me get my take your pick tool, push out those sides, and then push out my edge, my outline. Let me release all the holes, I guess. There we go. Such a beautiful die. And let's go over here. This one literally will just fall out. Look at how beautiful. All right, so there's going to be my 2 colors. So let me go ahead and put those over to the side for a second. Move this. Put my dies in my little metal pan over here so I don't lose them. All right. So now back to the card. Now before I go much further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp with this stamp set this happiest birthday wishes and sending all the hugs. But I'm going to try to mask them off so that you don't see the whole phrase. So what you want to do with this is what I like doing, because I'm going to pick it up here. I like lining up the sending so that you only see part of the word. So what I'm doing is, see how that's right there? I'm putting it right on the edge of where that old olive is. And then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to line it up with the top of my card. This will make sense in a bit. And then I'm going to do the same with the birthday wishes. I want the birthday wishes to show down, but not all of the word happiest. And I'm going to line this up with the bottom of my cardstock. Oh, and I did it upside down. That's what I just pushed onto my card. Here we go. So, happiest birthday wishes. And I'm going to line this up with the bottom of my card. Oops, it moved a little bit. That's what happens when these labels are so sticky. It's great, but sometimes it hinders you. All right. Now this is not rocket science by any means. So I'm going to do this. I kind of want to know where I am, so then I'm going to put that right at the top of the card. And see how you're getting that. So yeah, you don't see all the G, but you know what's coming. All right, now let's ink up this stamp. Now this one, I want to make sure my birthday wishes shows up. So going right about there. And I'm doing this to the bottom of the card. I still think I didn't get far enough over. Yep, not far enough over, but you get the idea. If I had really lined it up right, it would have been more over this way. I lined it up on this edge instead of this edge, but it's all good. You're getting the idea. All right, let's cover this up. And of course, you could use your Stamparatus, and it would be perfect. But I didn't do that, did I? All right, so let's go ahead and lay this down. If you want to, when you cut those out, you know, you're left with these wonderful templates. So if you wanted to, and this is what I did on the first card, I kind of laid these down, took my old olive and my blending brush, and I have found, instead of making a mess all over your paper, if you just tap it on here and tap it on here. Now it's not going to matter about that evening evergreen. See how I'm picking up the remaining of that ink? It doesn't matter. You're not going to see this lighter card on that evening evergreen. So I'm not so worried about, you know, ruining the back of the card. And then I'm going to go up like this. I want to get a lot of this on there. We'll go like this. Now you want to be careful here that you don't go too far up that edge, because then you will see the line of your card, the line of this cardstock. And I'm going to concentrate on that stem because I want that stem to be a little more darker than everything else. All right, let me go ahead, make sure that's shut. So then there's just a little bit of a background. Let me now bring out my die cuts. And your glue, of course. And let's, sorry, I hope my head's not in the way, is it? I always forget about my head when I'm filming. All right. So I'm going to let this hang off the edge. It's not going to be that big of a deal because you're going to see how it lines up with the card. I think it's about time to replace both of these. They're getting very, very empty. Oops, then you do that. See, I should have had my silicone mat underneath there. All right, let's go like this. Not going to be that big of a deal because we all know it dries clear. And if you didn't know that, it dries clear. All right, let's go ahead. You also could use your adhesive sheets when you cut this out if you wanted to. I always think about that after the fact. Okay, now let's go back over here. You could use dots to pop it up. I don't, just because we're talking about a lot of layers, and now it would just be like, to me, way too thick for the envelope. Let's go ahead, place that on there, and there you are. There's your flip flap fold. And if you want to, you could put little jewels here, sequins, whatever you feel. But it's just a fun fold card that I haven't done for a while. And like I said, I could have lined this up better, but you get the idea. So there you are, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great New Year's. Welcome to 2022. Hopefully it's good for you. And I'll get on here again next weekend and record some more videos. Thanks, and have a great day.